Hello, everybody. My name is Master Chen.
This is Doxy.
And I'm Richard Satchel.
And you are either watching or listening to Greynoise. All right, everybody. Welcome to Greynoise, the podcast with us on it and talking about shit. So, yeah, well, that's today. Let's get started.
There we go.
This is episode 144.
Sure.
You're the one who keeps track of that.
I know. I'm really bad at that. Well, I missed a week, and I missed, like, a whole lifetime. Let me check. So anyway, we are here at the Sin Shop, like every Friday night, 7:30. It is, wow, hold on. Let me take another sip of beer.
Or maybe one less sip of beer.
No, well, I can't have one. Yeah, I can't have one less sip. So
I mean, you can. You just
no, I can't. And I do apologize. We're episode 143 today. We're episode 143. So it is a Friday night, which means it is 7:30, which also means that we are here at Sin Shop, 1075 American Pacific Drive, Sweet Sea in Henderson, Nevada. The Sciences Everywhere has passed us, correct? That was last weekend? Yep. All right, cool. But we're still doing stuff here. So go to sinshop.org for more information on what we do. Go to meetup.com/sinshop for classes that we have coming up. Not this coming Monday, but next Monday we have the Lockpick Night. So check that out. Guys, we have our board meeting tomorrow in the afternoon. So we got some stuff to discuss. And for information on us, go to Greynoise, GREYNOI.SE. Does anybody else have any announcements? We'll talk about Infinity Wars because I haven't.
Hold
on, I haven't seen it.
My mouth was open to say it. My mouth was open to say it.
We haven't seen it yet, but we'll get there. Any other announcements besides spoilers? Real Doxy back. Oh yeah, we have Real Doxy back and Bizarro Doxy somewhere around, maybe like around the community mic, but. If you heard that, that's great. All right. So how was everybody's week?
I had the weirdest morning.
Okay.
But we can talk about that later.
Well, I thought we were going to go clockwise.
Oh, we're going clockwise? Okay.
Well, I mean...
How does clockwise work at this table?
Yeah.
I meant counterclockwise.
So to your left and then around?
Yeah.
Counterclockwise would be you first.
He said clockwise, right?
How about whoever wants to talk first?
Satchel, why don't you...
Well, go ahead. Sure, why not? No, I got a text message last night from a person that's running for Congress.
Oh.
And they were like, "Would you like to have a phone call with this person?" I'm going to go ahead and keep it neutral and whatnot. Of
course.
Would you like to have a phone conversation with this person? And he called me. Now, I thought at first it was just going to be like a town hall or something like that.
Like if
like
you
an
want to
automated
talk to them,
message or like a...
I thought that's what it was going to be.
You were like, oh, show up at this time and you could talk to whoever, right?
Yeah, maybe if you push the button and you might be able to talk to the guy.
Maybe you'll get a ticket in the line. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. No, he called me. And me and him talked for 15 minutes.
Was it a good conversation?
Actually, it was. I mean, I can't really get into it without going on a political direction, but I actually felt kind of reassured, sort of.
Do you know where they got your number from?
Yeah, well, they got my number from a campaign that I had previously worked on. It was a delegate for.
Well, that's weird. I mean, maybe not weird.
I'll allow it.
Okay.
It was pretty cool. Yeah.
That's relative, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, that's how it was the most surreal thing ever. Because like he called and he was like, "Hi, this is blah 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 blah." And I was like, "I know exactly who you are." Because like I could recognize his voice.
That's pretty awesome, actually.
Right?
That's
crazy.
That's some real grassroots campaigning right there.
Right?
That's like, all right, I dig that.
Bundy for governor?
Huh?
Was it Bundy for governor?
No, it was. We're not.
I mean, I have no problem with you saying it, but I don't know how you feel about it. It's your thing.
I'm good with it. It was Randy Bryce, the guy that's running for Paul Ryan's seat.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. No, like he and I had a 15-minute long conversation this morning. Freaking nuts.
This morning?
Yeah.
What time?
7.
Dude, yeah, he posted it. I guess you haven't. I'm sorry, you haven't been on chat today.
He knew it. Like, don't call me at 7 a.m. Actually, don't call me at any time. Really is the answer.
Yeah,
but also
text.
definitely not at 7 a.m.
It was 9.
He's calling at 7, hoping that people would never pick up because it's 7 a.m. He doesn't really want to talk to you.
Well,
we talked the day before. And they asked what time, and I had meetings in the afternoon, and so I was like, they were like, he's making calls from 9 o'clock till 5. And I was like, well, put me in first one. He's like, okay, great.
Wait, so he spent the whole day talking like the way he did to you, grassroots and shit?
Yeah.
That means something.
All right, I'll say that's fair.
He's legit, man.
I like that.
He's legit.
I don't
And
know.
that still didn't score brownie points with you?
Oh, no, it definitely did. No. I said that it reassured me mostly. Mostly. I'm skeptic, man.
I don't know what. I mean, yes, you should be. With our current political climate, you definitely should be.
With our always political climate.
Also, that is true with our always political climate, as our audience member has said.
But do you want me to go through the questions, or is that going too far?
I don't think that's.
Yeah, that's not relevant.
Because it'll take a while.
That's
let's
not relevant,
keep
but that's
moving.
cool.
But yeah, if you'd like to know more, check out the politics channel on our Discord.
Oh, thank you. Yes, join our Discord. The Discord link is on Greynoise, and we have a politics channel, so you can go ahead and rant and rave in there and talk shit. Yeah, nobody will listen to you.
And no one will read it.
No one will care. No, I'm just kidding.
How was your week?
It was kind of tough, but
Oof.
Yeah.
started out worse, and my day started at 4 this morning. So
Ooh,
Mine
god
too.
damn it. Actually, I woke up at 4, but I wasn't doing things at 4.
the phone was ringing at 4.
Oh, motherfucker. Ugh.
I don't exist at 4 a.m.
So, I don't know if you guys noticed that I was gone last week.
What?
Yeah, I don't know if you guys noticed.
Huh.
So,
Oh, the intro was a lot smoother.
Oh,
I'm kidding. I'm so
shit.
kidding. I'm sorry. I'm
Oh,
sorry.
damn.
I
BGM
reject
knocked
and
that
denounce
one out of the
myself.
ballpark.
spitting fire there. Jesus
I
Christ.
reject and denounce myself.
And full disclosure, I listened to part of last week's episode, but I haven't listened to all of it. So I have to actually. Well, I could talk about that later.
I have not listened to last week's episode because I lost my headphones on my trip last week when I also was not here, so I haven't been able to listen to anything. So
Disaster.
What's funny is Doxy went one way in the country, and I went the other way in the country. So I did a long turnaround road trip, and it was okay. It was cool.
Yeah.
But it was a lot of sitting.
You went to Texas.
Yes.
Awesome.
Yep.
terrible.
Lone Star
I'm
State.
just kidding.
I mean, it was like my 3rd or 4th time being there, but I mean,
Parts of Texas are terrible.
I've heard Austin is great.
haven't been to Austin.
That is one part that is not terrible.
I mean,
Houston.
Oh, but that's not. Hold on, that's not even the part that I was getting at. So I was gone last week from like Wednesday to Sunday.
Yeah.
And what's funny is, at least at my job, everything gets put on hold until I get back, unless it's an
Yeah.
emergency,
Yep.
right? Yeah, exactly. So I come back on Monday, and I'm like, what the fuck? Like,
but doesn't that make you feel valued?
yeah.
That sounds like a no to me.
Yeah, it sounds a lot like a no, yeah.
I mean, okay. The thing is, I don't want to make the whole department go to shit. I want good
Yeah, you
customer
do.
service, right?
No, fuck them.
No, wow, okay. All right, Doxy's a little extreme there this week.
I'm
No, but I mean-
real angry right now.
I mean, just to a point where clients aren't like, well, what's going on? You know what I mean? Like, it should still run
Like
smooth.
not responding to emails and stuff.
Yeah. Well, I put an autoresponder, so
Oh yeah, that's fine then.
yeah, okay. Yeah, you're right. Anyway, so
I
the funny thing is, last week, I had to fit a 5-day work week in 2 days, right? Monday, Tuesday.
And it was easy as fuck, right?
No, because I had to finish.
Just kidding.
I had to finish stuff before,
Just kidding.
you know. And then when I came back, it was as if those 3 days were added on to this week too. So it was like having two. Okay, so it was like having a 5-day week in 2 days, and then it was like having an 8-day week in 4. It was weird.
Sounds sexy.
No,
Way
you
too
know
much
what?
math.
Yeah,
I don't know.
you know
what
I'm
he
not
said.
good at it. Anyway, okay, so that's where I'm caught up. Doxy, did you have anything to share?
I mean, my last 2 weeks, I haven't been here for the last 2 shows, have just been dumb and, whatever. I'm back now. That's
Oh,
cool.
actually, no, we have something to talk about, Doxy. You have not had lunch with me maybe twice in the last 2 weeks.
I have had lunch with you twice in the last
Yeah,
2 weeks.
yeah, nothing more than twice, and it's
Right.
usually every day. So, Doxy, can you please explain why I'm being robbed?
Huh.
I like the way you put that. Robbed.
Huh.
Yeah, it's always about me.
Robbed of your doxy time.
It's always about me, McNutt.
So I'm doing this fitness challenge thing, and to make it easier on myself,
Have you tried fitness food in your mouth?
shut your goddamn mouth. To make it easier on myself, instead of doing all my workouts after work, I'm doing all of it during lunchtime because I'm already not wanting to be at work because it's work and who wants to be there. It's just easier for me to work out in the middle of the day as opposed to at the end of my day. So that's why I'm doing that. So that's why we have it at lunch, because I go work out every day at lunch. And We will talk about this afterwards.
No, we'll explain it now. Doxy,
Oh.
what's the consequence?
So,
Look, you robbed me. You have to explain why you robbed me of lunch.
So, I have a really good friend, a best friend, you would say. And we like to do dumbass bets with each other. So we've made a bet that is currently going on. Whoever loses the bet. So the consequence of losing the bet is the winner gets to shave off one of your eyebrows.
You can just shave it off now and get it over.
The bet is hinged upon who is in the best shape at the end of the
6 months, right?
6 months. It's a 6-month time period. Who's in the best shape at the end of it
So I'm
wins.
not gonna have lunch with you for like 6 months.
No. Just for I have a dedicated workout schedule for these 6 weeks to like jumpstart my fitness, getting back in shape because I've been getting real fat. Our viewers would notice on camera I'm looking really rotund.
Oh God, yeah, hideous.
yeah,
really.
totally
I was
big.
going to talk to you about.
I'm
that.
looking real thick on
It's like
camera.
Jabba the Hutt over there.
And you know the camera adds 10 pounds,
It
so
does,
it's a
yeah.
whole.
Well, then
So
just
you're
don't
like
don't be on
95
camera and
pounds.
you'll have a
Yeah.
head start.
I'm looking real thick. So for the next, but I'm already I think 2.5 weeks in, so I'm almost done. So then I'll be able to go back to lunch with you, Chen, successfully without losing my eyebrows. So
No. Oh, okay.
that's the most important thing. I don't care about anything else.
Because I am a really good friend, I actually want to see you with one eyebrow because I think it'd be hilarious.
The last time Chen wanted me to lose a bet, I
And
dyed
you
my
did.
hair blonde
And you did.
because I don't back down.
I know, and
Oh,
that's
I didn't
what
know if
you know what that's what I admire about you though, Doxy, is that you're a man of your word.
I will do some weird shit.
We do have, by the way, we do have that picture of Doxy looking like Wesley Snipes.
If you bet,
on our Instagram.
if you can successfully trick me into betting you something, I will honor the bet. Because I mean, all you
that's the
got
challenge though. I can't do anything tricky.
all you got to do is catch me off guard. It's really easy because I'm always like drinking or being weird. Just be like, "Oh, Doxy, I bet you can't do this." I bet you watch your fucking ass, and then then I have my hair blonde.
We'll talk. We'll talk after the show.
So
All right.
I reject and denounce the entire thing.
Now we are
I,
gonna.
I wish I could too, but it's too late now.
yeah, fair enough.
I confirm but deny.
All right, now I do want to get into our main topic today, but Vic actually posted something in our live stream channel about AT&T blocking the latest Cloudflare DNS
Oops.
1.1.1.1, and apparently, according to this article, it was an accident.
Sounds like bullshit to me.
Yeah, I was
Not
gonna say,
bad.
do you buy that or not?
Absolutely not. So what I like just looking at the headline, reading no further into it, what I would think is they're testing some sort of money grubbing scheme as far as blocking Cloudflare and other DNS addresses, like what was it, Quad 9 or whatever. And then this is just like they were testing to implement it and they just fucked up on the testing part. So in the future they might start blocking Cloudflare and Quad 9 unless you're part of a certain tier or something. I don't know though.
I think it was I think it was tiering.
Tiering, like some
Yeah,
sort of
I think
tier.
it was, yeah.
Like you can't use custom DNS unless you're part of this elite tier or some sort of money grubbing scheme. But that's just as a regular consumer,
You want to use other people's DNS? That's another $50 a month.
That's exactly it.
See, yeah, that's where this is. I could see where it's going.
Yeah,
Our
I mean,
DNS is
I haven't read the article
Yeah.
at all. I haven't looked at anything, but that's what I would think. Initial assumption.
Yeah, our DNS is free, but it includes all of these other sites that we want you to look at.
No, but
Yeah,
they wouldn't tell
injection.
wouldn't
Yeah.
tell you what the difference is. So like if you're like I don't know, like if you're on like an internal network that has Cloudflare DNS or whatever, and you're like fuck, why can't I get to the internet? AT&T's like, oh, you got to use AT&T DNS because we've got the good stuff.
Or I mean, you could just remember every IP address that you need to visit.
I have a running list on my computer. That's a lie. I don't.
No, so
There's one statement in here. It says, although there was reason to think that blocking wasn't intentional, AT&T's public stance on net neutrality and privacy helped make some people suspicious about the company's motives. AT&T sued the Federal Communications Commission in 2015 in order to eliminate net neutrality rules that forbid ISPs from blocking or throttling websites and online services.
yeah, so that's more evidence to what
So
Doxy was
they have a
saying.
history of it.
So AT&T's a piece of shit.
Yeah.
No.
Who would have thunk? Who would have thunk?
I've been mad at them ever since they stopped selling telegraph lines. It's false advertising,
Yeah,
Everybody-
right. They should just be called AT or
Yeah.
at.
But I mean, it could be
Yeah.
it could be like the SATs, where it no longer stands for anything and it's just AT&T, because the SATs don't stand for anything
Wait.
anymore.
The SAT doesn't stand for anything
SAT
anymore?
does officially as of like 5 or 6 years ago.
They just
SAT
gave
does,
up, right?
SAT does not stand for anything. It's,
It's
just
simple. It's standard aptitude
nope,
test,
not
right?
anymore. It is just SAT. It
Well,
does.
well
it
people
doesn't
kept
stand for
saying
anything.
SAT test.
Oh, like ATM machine.
Yeah,
Right, like an
yeah.
ATM machine.
So, as of 5 or 6 years ago, SAT does not stand for anything. It's just SAT.
Yeah, same
That is the word. So it could be like that for AT&T, but that's neither here nor there.
Wow.
But also AT&T.
AT&T. Yeah, I think they've got some scheme going, or they had some
I would-
villainy afoot,
And they just got caught in the middle of it.
Yeah.
They were testing villainy, as Vic says, and they just fucked it up. Villainy.
Well, it's a good thing we caught him because now that's
I
over
mean,
with. Whew.
Thanks to
We
the
got
Greynoise,
'em.
thanks to the Greynoise
No,
podcast,
no repercussions, right?
we've caught
None.
AT&T in their dastardly doings.
You block people's access to the basic service of the internet.
Well, but it's not a basic service.
You
I mean,
can't
it's not a
go
public
anywhere on the
utility.
internet without DNS.
It's not a
You
public
can
utility.
remember all of the IP addresses.
Okay,
You know
if
what?
they're
You
on
know
a
what?
virtual
That's-
host, you
that's a
can't
good
get
pet
there
project.
with an IP address.
I'm kidding.
That's
No,
actually a good
Don't
pet
take me
project.
seriously.
What's that?
Vic.
What's
What?
the good
Memorizing
pet
all the IP addresses?
No, not necessarily memorizing, but if someone were to amass a collection of all the known IP addresses for the major sites, it's not a bad idea.
Well, then you'd be a DNS server.
No, but
Just run your own, people.
your own DNS server.
Hmm.
It's too advanced for what we're talking about right now.
Wait a minute. Okay, but Vic, you run your own DNS server,
Yeah.
but the upstream DNS is not 1.1.1.1?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Okay, so then if that's blocked, then what are you going to do?
It goes through Tor.
Okay.
We're gonna talk after the show. We're gonna talk after the
But
show.
they're going to block Tor eventually.
Oh, are they? Are they going to block Tor?
They're not
Is
gonna
that, is
block.
that something that's going to happen?
We need some expertise here, please.
Yeah, no,
Eh, eh,
please.
eh,
I'm up for it.
Is,
No,
is
gotta
that-
know.
We gotta-
is
we gotta-
Tor going to get blocked?
We got an expert coming up.
Is Tor going to get
Or
blocked?
are they just going to throw away all the Bitcoin?
No, it has nothing to do with it. But
Why is
no,
Tor gonna
Tor
be-
will never be blocked.
Why is that?
It was a research project out of the Naval Research Laboratory, and it is used by the Five Eyes for clandestine operations.
I don't know what the Five Eyes are. But
CIA and
No, it's
It's the five
sorry, the five
countries
Yeah.
that are in a mutual intelligence sharing agreement.
Wait, what is it?
Okay.
The U.S.,
It's
the
U.S.,
UK,
Canada,
Canada,
UK.
Australia
Israel?
and New Zealand.
Yep.
Not
The
Israel.
Anglosphere.
What?
It's the last remaining Anglosphere organization.
That's correct.
oh, well, all right then.
So that doesn't include Israel, even though we've partnered with like Mossad and stuff, right?
That's totally different. That's CIA, and they're not really American anymore.
Okay. Well, I don't know that shit either. But
All right.
you have your answer there, Satchel.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
So Tor will never be blocked, which is good because I
Yeah, I mean, there's no reason. I mean, there's a lot of people that rely on it that are not just privacy advocates.
Yeah.
There's a lot of intelligence work that's just run on the Tor network,
Oh.
and so I don't
They
know.
need to-
I don't foresee that ever being blocked. Now, Cloudflare.
Yeah.
If you hire a Cloudflare to protect your website from denial of service attacks,
Right.
Like, he could just wake up one day.
they by default will force all users coming from a Tor exit to go through a what do you call it, a CAPTCHA to get into your website.
Oh,
that's
weird.
their default configuration. Now,
Okay.
if you can go and turn it off, but it's turned on by default.
Oh, I see.
And there were years where we were working with Cloudflare to try to make that better, and they put an intern on it because they really care.
Ah, I see.
And then nothing ever changed.
Oh, good.
So,
It's a sign of quality.
yeah.
I just like perusing the hidden wiki. It's got some good links there.
There's a lot of
Perusing the
interesting
hidden wiki.
stuff
Is that
on all
is
the
that double
Tor
entendre?
hidden services. There's a lot of interesting things.
No, I know. I'm,
You'd have
I'm
to
only
know about the hidden wiki.
I'm only
Not falling for that one again. I couldn't walk for a
I'm only
week.
scratching the surface. I'm not doing anything crazy on there.
Wait,
but-
oh.
how'd this become crying game?
Wait, what? I'm not getting these references.
Wiki, not winky. There's no N in there.
That was him. No, I didn't put an N in there.
All right, so do we see this going badly, like very badly, before it gets better?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
Oh,
well,
yeah.
okay.
They're allowed to act out. They will act out.
And
All
right
right.
now they are allowed to act out. They're
Yeah.
encouraged to
Yes.
act out.
Yeah.
Good luck. Good luck, everybody.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So our main topic today, and the reason why we're bringing this up is because, of course, Twitter is in the news. We are talking about passwords and generally everything about it, password
them.
security or lack thereof. For those who don't know, Twitter, they weren't hacked, but they made a public announcement that the way that they've handled passwords is not exactly up to par with security. They hold their they hold the passwords, I guess, in their database securely, but in transit, like when it's passing in clear text.
But also there was an
Internally,
issue with
apparently.
GitHub.
Internal network wise.
Right.
Yeah.
GitHub as well, right?
Were you talking about Twitter?
We're talking about Twitter, yes.
Oh no, it's just log files from their front end servers.
Log files from their front end servers is what we're getting from the audience.
Yeah, but it was all over the internal network that those transmissions weren't external, right?
So it's all behind their edge
Not
device.
external.
Yeah.
But it was a log file generated from their front end
Right.
servers.
Okay.
Which then the front end servers were making.
We're getting
calls to
information
their
here.
Middleware, which were encrypted.
Okay, yeah, we're the dead air kills us. Sorry, can you
I'm
mic?
sorry, let me do that again.
Yeah.
So it was log files coming from their front end servers that when you would hit the front end web servers with your password or whatever, it was generating log files that contained that data. Because,
right there, okay,
And
yeah.
it wasn't nefarious in any way. It was just like, hey, we're going to dump the variables that come across this web call into the log just for whatever reason. Well, one of the variables happened to be your
Password in plain text.
but those front end servers were relaying to middleware, and that's all over encrypted links, and all the hashing was done at the front end. So like when it would go, hey, is this the correct credentials? It would decrypt the password, send the username and the hashed password to the backend server. The backend server would say, yeah, that's correct, right? And then they would get redirected off to, they would establish the cookie for the session, redirect them off to their profile page or whatever, right?
So Twitter was really just being cautious by saying this, like, because it
This
wasn't
was-
visible to the public.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and they purged their logs, apparently. Wrote something to go and purge all the logs of all the password fields, basically redacted it from all their logs.
Sure.
And then they announced it. So, I mean, it seems pretty reasonable, like they did
Yeah.
the responsible
So
thing.
it's not as big of a thing as the media is currently making it out to be.
Yeah, I don't believe it is.
Okay.
Good on them for not announcing it 3 years later, being like, we fucked
That's-
up 2 years
that's
ago.
My bad. Sorry,
Yeah.
everybody.
Well, it's responsible disclosure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because I mean,
Yeah.
They're doing the right thing.
we don't see a lot of responsible disclosure at all ever with any company.
That
Usually
is
with
not true
companies
at all.
with responsible disclosure.
Yeah, I will tell you that is not true at all.
I think with okay. So
What you were saying that companies don't do responsible disclosure is not true. That is just factually incorrect.
I'll say so maybe not like a major portion of them, but the ones we see in the news where they come out like years later, like we fucked up 3 years ago.
He's
and
probably
we-
referring to like Yahoo and
all those
Maybe.
ones.
I mean, but a lot of those
That's- I
could have
mean,
been
that's
that
definitely
they
a
didn't
thing.
realize it until 3 years later.
That's not true.
Maybe.
That's not true.
well,
That's not true.
So, I do a lot of work with a company called HackerOne. HackerOne's amazing company. It was a startup out of San Francisco that runs bug bounties. Okay, so bug bounties are all about, hey, you come and tell us confidentially any bugs you find in our platform. We'll pay you. We'll fix it. We do responsible disclosure. We get CVE numbers if we need to. We will address it. We'll let anybody, if it's a software we're publishing, we'll let users know. But if it's just a web platform, we'll fix it, and then we will publicly disclose it, right? That's part of the sort of the negotiated protocol around these things that has happened over the last decade, right? And the reason I say you're wrong about responsible disclosure is because they have something like 50,000 bug bounty payouts over the last 2 years, and they're huge companies. They're Netflix and they're Twitter and they're Facebook and all these, and they pay out bounties to the people who find the bugs, and they do responsibly disclose them. Responsible disclosure is just about we're going to fix it, and we're going to mitigate it, and then we will be committed to disclosing it publicly after we've mitigated or fixed
After
the
you fixed
problem.
it, so- yeah,
That's
right.
what the responsible part of it is.
I think that some of the lag time is that the companies want it fixed before they release the
Yep.
fact that they have a vulnerability in their system. And it can take a while for a fairly large company to patch and
90 days
and
usually.
verify that it is secure.
Can you imagine if they do
Not-
it in reverse and like for those 90
I mean-
days they're just getting hammered?
No, but I mean, I get like the
Yeah.
90 days, but like 3 years and whatnot.
I would challenge you to give me one example,
Oh,
and then we can
Oh,
talk
he's going-
because that's more interesting radio, right? Like, give me
Yeah.
one example and we'll talk about it. But
Yeah.
most companies, they have a policy which is you report it to us, we'll get back to you within 48 hours to tell you whether we think it's an issue or not.
We do have a. Oh, sorry.
Sorry, and if it is an issue, then they commit themselves to a 90-day disclosure thing or mitigation disclosure.
All right. We do have a live stream comment here by one of our users, or one of our listeners. He agrees with Doxy. Most of those major breaches.
All took so long for
Yeah,
the companies
thank
to
you.
come public with.
Yeah.
Now, actually,
Well,
you know,
let's talk about a specific issue because I think there's only a couple that might fit
So-
into that category.
Right, and that's what I would.
And the vast majority of security flaws.
Well,
are
okay,
not.
well, we're talking about, like, let's say Equifax is an example.
actually, on that exact
That's the most recent example.
on that exact one though, and it's going to sound like I'm against you, but I'm actually for you.
No, I know.
But so with Equifax, for example, you take a company like that's been around for so long, and they find a bug, and if they're still running on old AS400s or something like that, it's going to take a minute to one, find somebody that knows COBOL, and two, you know, to actually fix the bug. You know, if you've got something that's that big, I see what Vic is saying. That, you know,
and I totally get that. But okay,
Well-
so let's talk about the biggest one of the last year.
Okay.
That happened.
Yeah.
So Yahoo.
Yeah, that's inexcusable.
So
2.4 billion
So
was
it was.
What were the
it-
details? I don't remember.
was
I know
a-
the
it-
size, but I don't remember the details.
It was reported in December 2016, and the breach happened in 2013.
So 3 years.
That's just inexcusable.
Wait. Yahoo knew about it in
In
2013?
2013. That's inexcusable.
Yeah, I would agree with you.
And I mean, that's why I'm hesitant, because you're right. Probably a large majority do responsibly disclose and take care of them stuff. But the bigger companies, there's Equifax, there's Yahoo, I just saw Xbox.
I'm going to split hairs with you on this one.
Yes.
Okay, you're talking about breaches,
Yeah.
and I'm talking about, hey, I found a bug in your platform, and I'm telling you about it, rather than robbing you blind. Okay, so there's a difference here because
definitely.
breaches are things that the companies are unaware of until someone walks off with a huge amount of data.
Okay.
Right.
Okay?
Yeah.
Right.
So there's no amount of anything we can do other than software development best practices and running bug bounties and trying to outbid the black market. We actually talked about this last week.
Yeah.
That there's this really interesting economics problem where people like myself who run bug bounties and are trying to do all the right things to produce secure platforms and software, we don't know how much we have to offer to outbid the black market because we don't have that pricing signal. If I know, like, for instance, why don't we never hear about iPhone bugs? It's because if you know of a way to get around the security features of an iPhone, they're worth so much money that it's actually, you know, Apple doesn't pay enough. Essentially,
You
what
make
it
more
is.
money as the criminal. And
Exactly,
not the
you
bug
make
bounty.
more money
Yeah.
selling it on the black market on one of these hidden Tor websites, right, than reporting it to Apple because Apple doesn't pay nearly as much.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. It's when you're talking about breaches.
Yeah.
I don't know that yes, they should have disclosed it almost immediately, and I think we changed our laws recently that says you have to disclose data breaches, right?
I'm fuzzy on that. I'm not sure.
I don't know the exact details of it, but I think there's consumer protection, at least regulations
I think
that have
might
been put
be
into place.
in the
consumer
UK
protection
in the-
regulations?
in the
There are,
EU.
actually.
I think that's in the EU. I don't think that applies to us, does it?
Oh, I know what you. Yeah.
Maybe it's
I
just
know-
the threat
I-
of everybody hating you.
I
That
don't,
might
I don't
be
think,
what it
I don't
is.
think companies care about that.
Well, because now you get those letters in the mail like, yeah, we screwed up. We gave all your data away. Now
Yeah.
we're going to pay for your credit checks for the next
Which has been happening
year.
a lot more frequently in the last year, but that's also anecdotal evidence. So I have no hard figures to back that up. And again, like I was saying, like it's I'm sure a lot of companies do responsibly disclose. And as far as bug bounties and stuff, that's a bit different.
Yes.
Because I was mostly referring to breaches.
Yeah.
And like
Because disclosing breaches is an entirely different thing than
Right.
disclosing vulnerabilities that have been reported to the company that runs it.
and 90 days is more than fair enough for that. And breaches,
Breach-
I don't.
Because there might be like fiduciary responsibility stuff, like, if you're an officer of a corporation, you have a legal requirement to maximize profits and
Right.
shareholder return. And like being right out of the gate, like, yeah, they just stole all of our money. Like you might actually be sued as the CEO, fired as the CEO if you didn't do anything you could to try to mitigate the impact of the company.
So speaking of consumer protection laws, I think we should have laws in place to not. I don't care about the CEO, but to protect the consumers in that sort of situation. Because at that point, the consumer is at the mercy of the company and what they decide to do to maximize profits, as you said, and they don't know. They have no chance of recourse. They can't do anything. They're just like twiddling their thumbs, like this service is great, this is amazing. CEO's
but-
like, I gotta milk these dumbasses for all it's worth until it has to come out at the last moment, and there's nothing to do about it anyway. Like
Yeah.
I think there should be consumer protections in place to circumvent that. Like that's more. As a consumer, I think that's more important. But
Yeah,
But-
what I want to see is my ideal world is that we start exploring business models that don't rely on knowing everything about you.
Yes,
Business models
I
that
completely
make
agree.
money
That's
where,
the best.
Yeah.
where they can actually outsource the identity piece, where it's like we go to whoever it is you do trust. Like you have to tell your bank who you are. There's know your customer laws, anti-money laundering laws, right? So there's no reason why a business whose business model doesn't rely on knowing everything about you, there's no reason they couldn't have some arrangement with, say, like Wells Fargo Bank, where it's like, is this who they claim they are?
Are you
Yeah.
talking about like identity escrow?
No, it's called verifiable credentials.
Becomes China.
No, it doesn't.
Wait, so you're talking about like an
So
identity
the
escrow.
other person here standing has become no. It doesn't become China. This is a whole new standard thing coming out now. It's distributed, decentralized. It's called self-sovereign identity. That's Google that term.
self-sovereign identity.
Self-sovereign identity. It's all blockchain-powered identity stuff. You control all the encryption keys.
He said blockchain. Everybody.
Yeah, it's turning out to be like that's like
blockchain.
yeah.
Wait, was that a rule from last week that I missed?
No, what's the opposite
I
of
just made it.
what's the opposite of saying Nazi and killing a thread? It's that. Like if you say blockchain, everybody has to drink.
I'm okay.
That one
with
doesn't
the-
count.
I'm okay with the drinking blockchain, but I don't have any drinks, so I'm not okay with it.
That's your fault. You thought there was nothing but sugar in here. So, all
This is true,
right.
Anyway, we could go down a rabbit hole. On
Yeah.
this one.
We-
Yeah.
Well,
and we will later.
Just breaches versus disclosure are totally different.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
100%. Yeah.
So companies are trying to do the right thing.
Some,
But breaches need to be we don't have a protocol around handling breaches.
which is a fault of major companies on a large scale because they've been happening forever.
As much as I disagree with Twitter in all forms of what they're doing, I have to give them props on this. I think they handled it pretty well.
What
I
did
could tell
Twitter-
that came out of you sideways. You were just like,
It was painful.
it was painful. He's like, oh shit, Twitter did something right.
Yeah, I think they handled the breach and disclosure correctly.
Do you disagree with what Twitter's doing because of their business model, or because you don't understand their business model?
I disagree.
That was a nice
I
laugh.
disagree with Twitter because they claim to be in support of free speech, and yet
Yeah,
they are
they
not.
claim to be a platform when they're really a publisher.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just fundamental. What do they call it? False advertising.
Yeah. They advertise themselves as a platform.
I
and
mean,
they're not.
would you ever subscribe to a newspaper that said, "We're going to bring you all the news except the news that's coming out of Canada"? Right?
no, but I would subscribe to a newspaper that said, we'll bring you all the news except the news that comes from Nazis.
I would agree to that.
I would subscribe to that particular news.
Because I mean, if you give them a platform, you give them a voice, you give them a foothold. I feel like that starts it off.
I'm just saying.
But then
I'm voting present and backing out of this.
But
one.
then I mean, this is not a political show, but I will say. But then that starts the larger question: is
That's
how do you
so-
know someone's a
yeah.
Nazi and not just a fucking
Who
psychopath?
determines
I mean, also psychopath should be bad,
what
but whatever.
what is
you know.
who
Yeah,
determines
yeah.
what is safe speech? So I don't know about that.
Well, I mean, safe speech is different than someone being a Nazi.
right, but then where's the line drawn? Again,
If I- if
that
someone
could be
says-
something.
all you have
if
to
someone-
say
if
is that
someone
free
says I'm a
speech.
Nazi,
Hold on. Yeah.
Around what used to be Palestine, I think, is where
free speech was never like our First Amendment was never designed to protect happy speech. It was
This is
never
true.
designed to protect I love you, Chen. It was never designed
love
to
you too,
protect hey,
Aw.
we are not Nazis. It was never. No, it was designed very specifically to
Yeah.
protect people anonymously publishing pamphlets.
The First
they were
Amendment
full
was?
of lies and propaganda against the British Empire.
the First Amendment was.
It was written directly from that experience.
The First Amendment was.
Correct, yes.
Right. The First Amendment that applies to the federal government and not a private corporation.
Yes, but we are a society and we should hold corporations to the same standards.
Until you're the corporation that is the default public square.
such as a Twitter or Facebook.
Okay, so then you're arguing for a government takeover of that
No.
company?
No, I'm arguing that you just stop using
Well-
Twitter. Everybody
well,
should stop
just like
tomorrow.
just like if you were doing something wrong in your house and the power company can't turn off your power because you're doing something they disagree with. Phone company can't unhook you because they're a utility. The water company can't turn off the water because they disagree with something you've said or done.
And if they would have classified the internet as a public utility,
That would also be true.
Which I'm
then that
totally
would also be
against.
true.
Which, yes, it would be bad. It
This
would
is
be
where
bad.
Tim and I disagree on this.
Well, I'm not exactly for it. I'm just saying that there's examples that have worked in the past, and I think if you're faced with these examples, your behavior might change. I think if you show this is probably the route we're going to go, people might start changing their mind about what is available on the internet.
And a moment of silence.
I mean, it's a really sensitive topic. And
Why?
freedom.
There was a whole war. The whole world was involved.
Not in the sense that like we shouldn't talk about it.
Yeah,
but it's
but
like it can easily go either way.
But the Marxist
certain
socialists killed what 100 million people, and we're not saying, well, we can't allow Marxists on the internet. Like that.
But
how
no
many
one's-
did the Nazis kill? What, 6 million at the highest end?
No,
right?
Totally, that died in the conflict was right at about 54 million.
Okay, so 54 million in World War II.
Due to,
but
that's
like
including-
Marxist
includes,
socialism
like,
has
everybody
killed
that
like
was
100
bombed,
million
that was-
people over the years, and
That-
we don't
that was-
say, well,
that
you
was
can't be a
everybody
Marxist
involved.
on the internet.
Yeah.
What were you saying, Tim? Sorry, I didn't mean.
That was everybody involved. That was all the armies. That was all the
Civilians.
militaries. That was all the civilians that were bombed in greater part of Europe and in some parts of Asia. So
Okay, but you get my point, right? Like, how many people have died in the name of Marxist socialism?
Oh, so then
and yet that's not
everything's-
something
so
we
both
it's
are
can't.
all
fine?
pretty bloody. Yeah,
What?
it's all pretty bloody. I mean, estimates go from 80 million to 120 million.
Yeah,
And
but
So
but
are both
but-
okay then?
no,
Absolutely, they're both okay. In my book, yes, absolutely, you can talk about that on the internet. Both are okay, and the reason is because that's how you have to have it. I'm sorry, freedom is messy. We just need to grow up.
I would disagree with that point. Freedom is messy. I would agree with you on that. But freedom doesn't. What's a good way to put this? I don't have the words, and I don't want to speak incorrectly. But I'm okay with freedom not including
Some restrictions
psychopaths and Nazis.
So your definition of freedom is freedom from, and my definition
not
of freedom
not
is
freedom from
to.
not freedom from. I'm just okay with platforms not being inclusive of people who are.
Are you talking about diagnosed psychopaths?
I meant that as like a.
self-diagnosed.
I meant that as like a.
Well, everybody
like a throwaway.
Everybody's
Because-
self-diagnosed.
because I imagine all Nazis are also psychopaths. But I'm saying, are they not? I don't know. They're Nazis. They're psychopaths. They're everything.
Would you say that about like Marxist socialists being psychopaths? I mean, they
Che Rivera was a psychopath then?
yeah, or even
Yeah,
like
sure, why not?
Depends
Castro,
on who
who
you
just
ask.
Castro,
Well,
who
if you
rounded
ask
up
him,
everybody
he'd
who was in the
probably
top
say no.
10%, just started
Then shoot you
murdering
in the
them.
head.
Psychopath.
I mean, that's
Or
a
give me
leftist
healthcare.
revolution. But we're not talking about banning Marxists
never
from the
actually
internet.
did that.
That's my point.
But also, what
can't have one and not the
what,
other.
Far
what
more
major
of one
what
than the
major
other.
Marxist
Hold on.
what
Hold
wait
on,
hold on
let's-
wait wait
What
no,
major Marxist
what major Marxist movements have there been in the last 10 years, 20 years,
Venezuela?
5 years?
The university.
I don't know the 600 cars that were set on fire in
How many?
Paris.
How many?
There's 600 cars that were set on fire in Paris this week.
This week was that a Marxist movement?
It
Or
was
a hockey game.
Yeah.
No, it was
Oh,
May
okay.
Day,
Oh,
and I think there was Marxists marching in the streets of Paris.
You think were there Marxist marching?
Well,
in
it
the
is
streets?
May Day, right?
It
Like,
Were
is
there- were
May
there Marxists?
Day. That's when the Marxists march.
And I'm not saying one is better than the other. I mean,
no.
all-
But my
no, I
point is,
will.
you can't have one without.
I
You can't have one without the other. That's my whole point. Like, if you're okay with banning Nazis, then you should be out there saying we need to ban all the Marxists too.
Ban 'em.
So I'm
Ban
just.
'em.
But
I'm
what
just
about blah,
pleading
blah, blah?
with you- I'm pleading with you to have like a consistent ideology.
so
I don't care what your ideology is, but it's when you're inconsistent that I have a problem.
One party wants to take the means of production and give it to the public, and the other wants to take it and give it to the state in a very authoritarian way.
Let me pick this apart. So you want to give the means of production to the people. The primary way of doing that is guilt by group association, which is the fundamental reason that people are oppressed and killed
Okay.
under Marxist regimes.
Great, but under fascism, it's bullets.
Okay.
So I'd rather be guilted than bulleted.
But I mean, under
but it's
Marxism,
bullets under
it's
Marxists too.
It's bullets and it's forced
Stalin
starvation.
killed a lot of people.
And like, I mean, look,
Yeah,
look at what happened to
there's
the
a-
Ukrainians.
There's
in
a
the-
huge difference between the Marxists in the past.
No, there is not.
And
I promise you, there
and
is
something
not.
like democratic socialism, which I think is
guys,
what you're trying
the
to
main
like.
password, the main topic is passwords.
not.
Yeah,
All right,
speaking of
so
passwords,
wait,
anyway.
so, yeah.
No.
So we are not
Passwords,
we are not a political show. And I'm going to cut this off right now.
Thank you.
We
Yes.
will.
That we
de-
would have gone for
We will
another-
definitely have conversations about this.
We can talk
afterwards.
about this just later.
We after the show, we have a whole night
should-
of drinking and gallantry after this.
We should totally do a post game.
Wait, what?
A post game.
Post-game.
Where, like, we talk about all that stuff.
That's what. Yeah, absolutely.
Pageantry.
like on the cam. On
Okay,
camera.
really
Absolutely.
quick.
Anyway,
okay,
moving
I should have
forward.
announced this first. I should have announced this during the announcements. But as you can see, it is First Friday. We did the 2600 meeting. The spring issue is out. Sorry, this is totally sidetracked. But I keep looking over at the vest that Vic has hung up. I don't wear mine because I have mine hung up nicely and waiting for DEF CON. But yes, we are representing Telefreak here in the 702. So that's one of my favorite badges from the conference. Anyway, yeah, 2600.
That's all you had to say,
Well, I kept looking at the vest, so yeah. All right, carry on.
boy.
I think that was like the piece of ginger after you eat a piece of sushi. That was a palate
Yeah,
cleanser.
He
palate
was-
cleanser.
Okay.
Yeah, he was
Okay.
cleansing
Palate
the
cleanser.
palate. That's what that
I get
was.
it.
Yeah.
I get it. I get it. Okay.
Hey, anybody seen any good movies like
Wait, no.
Oh, wrong. No, go ahead. No, go ahead.
No. So, one thing that I thought about earlier today, something I want to ask. Okay, passwords are messy, right? Like sometimes they're hard. Well, sometimes they're hard to remember. Sometimes it's password God or password 123.
Devin 123 always for and forever.
Why'd you dox yourself?
Devin 123 password always.
Oh God, I don't have to fucking censor all this shit. Anyway, so is there a better technology to use by the public or by the common person aside from passwords? Public key infrastructure
Iris
or
scans.
two-factor iris scans?
I'm just kidding.
Oh, okay,
Just
okay.
kidding.
Correct
I'm just
horse battery
kidding.
staple.
I'm
No,
just
so
kidding.
Because how messy passwords can be, is there a better alternative? That's my question that I thought about earlier.
I subscribe to the XKCD, the correct horse battery staple. Yeah,
Okay, yeah.
yeah.
But not that one.
But not that one. Yeah,
Of course, not that one.
not that one.
Who uses that?
But
Not-
that is right. A
not
phrase
me.
of 4 or 5 words.
Yeah, just a phrase you're familiar with, and you change it up for whatever site you're logging into.
Yep.
And use a password manager so they can be.
Password manager.
Yeah.
And use a password manager.
You use a password manager. Who at this table is not using a password manager?
It's not browser based.
What are you looking at me for?
I'm not looking
He's
at
not
you.
looking at you.
Oh, you're looking at you.
I'm looking at Satchel.
I keep mine hermetically sealed.
Hermetic.
in
What's
a milk jug, right?
In a mayonnaise jar on the front porch of Funkin' Wagnalls. Yes, sir.
Yeah, not
Wait, you just called him Dick Bag?
I meant Richard Satchel.
My man.
Damn.
No, I mean just saying, it's funny.
Don't use a browser-based password manager because there are like form stealing, hacks.
Yeah.
Okay, and then
That would be stupid. Yeah.
if you insist on doing one you remember, use a phrase of 4 or 5 words. If you don't, I mean, ideally you would use just a password manager like KeePassX and have like long random strings and just have it memorized. But that's the ideal thing. Sorry, you asked what's the best thing to do? That's just offload it to your password manager.
Fair enough.
All right, I guess we have the answer to my question.
And Chrome
What was
is
your
not an
question? What was
acceptable
your question?
password
A
manager.
better alternative to passwords.
Neither is
or like
Firefox.
passwords as
Okay.
they are now. So,
So we have a
oh yeah, Weeble, that's what it is.
we have a comment in our live stream. What do you all think about a nationalized social network?
Oh. Here we go.
We cannot discuss this right now. This conversation cannot happen right now. From PM Dev in the channel. I'm just gonna.
Nothing
I'm
to love
just-
you, but
I mean,
uh,
I really love answering questions, but I'm really just gonna skip this one right now.
Yeah.
We definitely will talk about this in our gallivanting and drinking after the show. And what did Satchel call it?
we should totally do a post game.
Post game. It'll be called Post Game with Greynoise. Maybe not.
Wouldn't that be cool?
Absolutely.
So,
We should at least talk about
literally
it.
be posting.
Posting.
Kind of.
Post posting. You know, in gambling, there's something called pass posting. That
right.
means you add to your bet after the dealer weighs you off, like
can do
in,
that?
in roulette. No, you can't do that. That's
Oh.
that's an illegal move.
Oh,
You,
yeah.
you mean in gambling cheating? There's a
Yes,
Yeah,
in gambling,
gambling
cheating,
cheating,
which will get you arrested by the Nevada Gaming Commission.
Fair enough.
Or your knees broken.
Not anymore.
That's
it's all
back in
corporate
the
now.
day.
That's what they want.
No,
you to
trust
think.
me, there's no mob. Well,
Are you part of the mob?
no, I used to be.
Trust,
That's just what the
trust
mom
me.
would say.
I know the guys.
There's nothing you need to worry about, eh?
I saw a YouTube video that proves beyond a shadow of a doubt.
Wait, what YouTube video?
Nothing. No, I'm kidding.
That's
I'm
what I
kidding.
thought
I'm
you
kidding.
said.
I never
Alright.
saw nothing, boss. I never saw nothing.
So I feel like before we got so rudely interrupted.
Right?
Just kidding. Satchel was going to ask a question or
Anyone
say
seen
something.
any good movies lately?
I've seen a lot of good movies. Oh, it's so late already.
I know, yes. Shit.
We went.
We went in.
We went in.
So I'm going to say this real quick. I said this in the channel before. I think it was in our private channel.
Yeah.
I saw Avengers Infinity War. It was everything I wanted that I didn't know I needed. That's all I'm going to say about it.
So, well, you just said that's all I'm going to say about it. So
I mean,
can't
I will.
ask you.
I will respond to your questions if you
Okay.
have them.
So how so?
How so?
Mm-hmm.
So just a quick overview.
I know you got to dance around spoilers.
I got
I'm
it.
sorry,
I'm
but-
not. This is a spoiler.
I want to see him dance. I also want to see him with one eyebrow.
This is shut your fucking mouth. This is a spoiler-free review of Avengers: Infinity War. It's a culmination of the last 10 years of movies,
Yeah.
starting with Iron Man all the way down to Black Panther
Yep.
last month or 2 months ago, or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's something I never thought would happen. Not only did I never think there would be an Iron Man movie or an Incredible Hulk movie or a fucking Black Panther movie.
Right?
Now, not just their own separate entities, they are all have become one in one movie in a 2.5 hour time limit.
Yeah.
Where they're doing everything I thought could ever be done.
Yeah.
They're having- and it was executed so well, so well. What I want someone to do before they go watch Avengers: Infinity War is go watch
all the last
no. Go watch either Batman vs Superman or Justice League.
Are you serious?
Oh, wow.
Whichever you want, whatever one you want. Watch Batman vs Superman or Justice League, whatever you like, and then watch Infinity War and just note the stark contrast between the movies.
Yeah.
One movie has 20 something characters and one has 5. And you would be surprised at which one handles the amount of characters they have the most poorly.
Yeah.
That's all I'm going to say about it.
No, he's absolutely right. It doesn't feel like it's a big hot mess at all. You would think it would with so many different characters in it and so many different franchises over so many different years. But no, it is totally like...
Wait.
To tack on to that,
Wait,
even if you haven't seen every movie Marvel's put out in the last 10 years, you would still know what's going on. You can come in having seen just Iron Man or
so like
something.
me.
I mean, you've seen a couple. I mean, okay, you have to watch a couple of them. But if you haven't seen Black Panther, if you haven't seen Spider-Man: Homecoming or whatever, you can still kind of pick up and understand what's going on. They do it really well. I feel like Satchel's going to disagree, maybe.
No, they do it. They definitely do it really well, for sure. The only part I would disagree with you on is not having seen most of the other.
Okay,
movies.
I won't say most of them.
But you
can
went back and
you can skip a few. Like you don't have to have seen everything.
Yeah.
So if you miss Incredible Hulk, doesn't matter.
you can miss Thor 2 for sure.
And Thor 1 for that. I mean, as
Yeah.
long as you know Thor is a person, you need to have seen Thor 3 at least.
Right.
Thor Ragnarok.
Okay, I just forgot what I was going to ask now. Oh yeah. So after this decade, they're going to still continue to make Marvel, right? Like
so what's
Oh, yeah.
so what's happening is Iron Man was the start of
the phase one.
phase 1 in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I will say that after Infinity War, that's Marvel Cinematic Universe Part 2.
Yeah.
So what do you think will be in it?
Well,
I have no comments for this.
All right,
not
this is
gonna say
probably
anything.
spoilers,
well,
right?
I know one thing is for absolute certain that there is definitely going to be another Black Panther movie.
There's definitely going to be a Spider-Man movie.
Definitely going to be a Spider-Man movie.
But I will say nothing about the proposal. I know some things, but I'm not going to say anything. All I'm going to say is if Iron Man until now was part 1, after this is part 2 of the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, technically we're on phase 4 of their plan.
Right.
But in terms of Marvel Cinematic Universe, this is the end of part 1.
Yeah.
That's all I'm going to say.
Absolutely. And I said this in chat too. I was really surprised that Peter Dinklage had such a big role.
He's a big guy.
Yeah. He's a huge actor.
He's phenomenal.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys are joking or not.
Aww.
It's Peter Dinklage. What do you need to know?
Well, I love him as an actor, but I
Yeah.
mean, anyway, I need to see.
I
the
mean,
movie.
he's a giant in his field.
That's true.
Yeah.
All right, fuck you guys. You're messing with me now.
That's right.
All right, are you guys ready for the lightning round?
He,
I
you,
am ready.
you and Peter Dinklage have a lot in common.
Wait a minute,
You
what?
both drink and know things.
Yeah.
Oh, shit,
And we both
son.
have big heads. I have big head.
You do have a big head.
Didn't know.
Well, now you do. All right, so we are ready for the lightning round, guys.
Let's do it.
All right, cool. So we are at the lightning round. So For those who do not know what the lightning round is, we are going to zdnet.com/topic/security. We are reading the headlines from that page as they are today, on today's date. So we are going to give our tweet's length of an opinion on the matter, and that's just reading the headlines. So we want you to do your research. We want you to come up with your own opinion. As you can tell, we are very opinionated today, but we don't want you to be all wrapped up in that.
I've been gone for 2 weeks, and I got a lot of emotion bottled up.
Yeah, I can see that. I was gone for 1 week, and I was like, oh, shit. Anyway. All right, so who wants to go first? Doxy.
Okay.
Damn
Sure.
Oh, okay. All right.
Okay.
Okay. All right, so we're going to go counterclockwise. All right, here we go. NSA says searches of Americans' data spiked in 2017.
From the NSA.
I can see why you would think that, but I think it's both. Oh, sorry, Vic.
The NSA says that searches for what spiked?
Americans.
Americans.
American
Search
data.
of Americans, apostrophe. So, like, Americans' data.
So searches on
Searches on
people who are Americans' data.
Spike.
NSA says searches of Americans' data spiked in 2017.
By
They didn't say by who.
Or by what percentage? We don't know. I don't know which one you're
It's a
asking.
headline.
You're getting
Okay.
too deep
Just
into
comment
it.
on the
Just
headline.
like,
Lightning
I'm
round.
like, yeah.
Yeah, because the NSA
It
started.
could be both.
The NSA heard about Facebook's dating app, and they were like, "Shit, we got to get in on this."
Searched us by us.
All right, sorry, go ahead.
All right.
Search best by tomorrow.
All I know is it definitely wasn't the Russians.
It's never been the Russians.
Never.
I'm going to reiterate: this is not a political show.
Oh, right. Sorry.
Jesus Christ. It's not a religious show either. All right. Next one. Tales of the Scary Data Life Cycle. Cambridge Analytica and Emerdata. I didn't know about Emerdata, but we know about Cambridge Analytica.
So Cambridge Analytica is Ember They changed their name.
Oh, fuck.
Next,
So they can continue their operations.
continue to be shisty.
They're only talking about a quarter of the people they've actually sold data to in the last 10 years. There's been a lot of analytic companies that's got that data, and nobody's talking about those companies.
Lightning round. Tweets length.
Wait, it's community, Mike. Go ahead. I don't want to infringe on your
I just want to say,
First Amendment rights.
So
We don't have to.
You can't do it in 240 characters.
Well, like Cambridge Analytica.
Made something from data that was pretty much freely available on the internet.
So they just monetize data scraping.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's the end of my tweet.
nice and succinct.
Money. Data.
Aren't those owned by the same exact people that isn't Cambridge Analytics owned by the DeVos family?
No, they were
Or
funded,
Eric Prince.
they were funded by the DeVos family.
Funded by the DeVos family. Okay, which is always a sign of quality because they were also behind Blackwater/Z.
No, they are
They-
Blackwater.
They are. Thank you. They are Blackwater.
Yes.
So we can totally trust them.
They did a good job.
They keep the presidency.
They
This is sound like it's getting real political.
Wait, hold on.
I mean,
Did somebody hack your Twitter password? Because you guys are just on one.
Sound like it's
y'all
getting real political.
picked the
You,
thing,
you guys
man.
are tweeting more than
All
Trump
I'm
tweets,
tweeting
and I
for
bet
is
on his tweets.
ideological consistency. It's a low bar, actually, there, dickbag.
When am I not hitting it?
Well, he was really using that alias on you.
He's liking it.
All right, here we
loving
go.
it.
Next one.
He loves the dick bag.
Yeah.
does.
Everybody loves the dick bag.
You
Dick bag.
know,
bag of dicks
ultimately.
can't go wrong.
You
Bag
know?
of dicks. No.
Oh, also funded by the Mercers, it says in our chat.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Oh yeah, Mercer's.
Oh, okay.
Mercer's
Yeah, okay. All right, here we go. Android alert. This new type of rowhammer GPU attack can hijack your phone remotely.
It can hijack my phone without being connected to it? It's almost like there's some kind of wireless interface inside my phone.
I guess we're going that way.
Well, you looked at me. I don't know. Just went.
I pass.
Well, okay. Vic?
Your phone can be hacked. Live with it.
Live with it. Okay. Next one. Are 8 new Spectre class flaws in Intel CPUs about to be exposed? Oh, fuck. More. Wait, I'm going to look this way first.
So what I've read is that if an article is asking you a question, the answer
Oh,
is
yeah,
no.
that's right. Pretty much bullshit.
So this sounds like bullshit
Why do they do that?
because you're interested. You're like, oh fuck, Spectre. Bullshit.
Yeah, you're right. Fine. Maybe I fell for the clickbait.
Spectre. It's the name of the evil organization from James Bond.
Yeah,
No,
I love James Bond.
Only better organization out there was, what was it? Man from Uncle had a better one.
Fuck, Man from Uncle was good.
Man from Uncle is amazing. What are you? You're talking about the new one, not the 1960s
Yeah.
version.
Yeah, the new one was really
The
good.
new one's really good. Henry Cavill does not. Okay, whatever.
We should do a post game and talk about that. That's what we should do on the post game.
We need a different show. Just
Yeah.
we need a different show.
And I
Just
just
for
remembered it.
movies.
It's called Scarab.
All right, guys, let's make this the last one. 4th generation Android espionage campaign targets the Middle East.
Over there.
Middle Eastern
Fourth?
zones.
Who's
Fourth-
doing that?
Fourth generation, like what? Fourth generation.
It's a 4th generation Android espionage campaign, not 4th generation software.
Okay, I was like Android Eclair. What? No. Okay.
That'd be Donut, I think, wouldn't it?
No.
4. What was it? Cupcake.
Four would be
It
Eclair.
was
A, B,
cupcake.
C, D. No, it would be sorry. D.
Cupcake.
Donut.
Cupcake donut Eclair.
It'd be donut.
No,
they-
because
Froyo.
B.
Froyo.
No, they go by alphabet, so it's A,
I
B,
know,
C,
but
D.
they
A and B were internal testing. Those don't release in public, so it started with
Okay, fine.
right.
So
cupcake,
cupcake,
donut Eclair, Froyo.
Froyo.
Yep.
Okay, fine.
Damn, dude, know your Android. I'm just
Yeah.
kidding. I also have no opinion on this. Lock up your Android.
Yo, kids.
Especially if you're in the Middle East. All right, Vic, opinion? No.
I'm surprised anyone's doing anything in the Middle East.
All right, Satchel.
Yeah, you're gonna set me up with a Middle East thing and expect me to not go to politics. No,
I'm gonna cut you off real quick.
yeah, that's fair. No, pass. I'm gonna pass.
Nice.
Pass.
I had
All
the
right.
chopping hand ready.
I saw it. I saw it. The hand of Doxy was looming over my head.
Oh my gosh! All right, so that does, I believe, bring us to the end of the lightning round. And as you can tell, we've run out of time, but never, ever out of shit to say.
Oh, God.
So join us again next week, like always, the 7:30 at the Sin Shop. I will be here next week, I believe. Yes, I will be. Everybody here will be here, right?
Yeah.
And I believe next week BGM will be here.
Yay.
So, all right. So go to sinshop.org for more information on the shop and what we do here. Go to meetup.com/sinshop to see the classes that we have offering in the next couple of weeks. Go to Greynoise, GREYNOI.se for more information on us. And remember to join our Discord so you can chat with us. And that live stream was a lively bunch. All right, guys. I guess that's all we got. So my name is Master Chen.
This is Doxy.
This is Vic.
And I'm Richard Satchel.
Good night, everybody.